Hey everyone, Dr. Frunkey here with a really cool new knife consult video. Before I start, I wanted to give a shout out to my good friend Nico. We've been friends for a long time. We talk about knives every day. He recently just started a new Instagram knife feed. It's called Today's Grail _ Tomorrow's Beater. We always talk about how we keep advancing our knife collections and how today's Grail knife just becomes tomorrow's beater. And this video, I think, is kind of playing into that whole theme that we've got going there. Because there was a time where the Peter Rassenti Nirvana here was an ultimate Grail knife for me. Now, I had the Spyderco Nirvana, and that was just a fantastic knife. And I absolutely loved it. But when I saw the opportunity to pick up an actual full custom Peter Rassenti, I had to do it, and I did it, and I never looked back. And this is really one of the greatest knives I've ever had, and I just can't seem to let go of this knife. Now, of course, you may be aware, if you follow along, that I recently picked up this amazing piece from Frank Fisher and Robert Carter, the Talon. This is just an entirely different level of custom knife. I just never thought I would enter into that realm, but here we are at that stage. And so really, today's Grail knife does become tomorrow's beater, because this knife is now, this Talon is totally on a different level than the Nirvana in terms of cost, and then even in terms of details and other things like that. But this is not a video talking about advancing collections, really. This is just sort of the starting point of talking about the Peter Rassenti knife, because what we have in front of us today is a new Peter Rassenti. If you follow his Instagram, you'll know that he has made a new model recently, and this is that model, and it belongs to my good buddy Nico. He bought this, and he's going to feature it on his Instagram, Today's Grail, Tomorrow's Beater, and it's going to be awesome. He's got a huge collection of some of the very best knives, and this is going to be a great addition. So we've got a Satori with a two-tone XHP blade with a black G10 collar going on, okay? So I love how he labels his knives and tells you what you're going to get when you when you open the box. Now let's talk about the word Satori for a minute while we open the box here. The word Satori, to those of you who know a thing or two about Buddhism, is the idea of achieving self-understanding. And so here it is, the Satori. The Satori is the new knife from Peter Rassenti. It's a flipper that is about the same size as the Nirvana. So before I even open it, we're going to go ahead and bring out the Nirvana for a size comparison here. And you can see that if you've had a Nirvana, you can pretty much know what to expect in terms of size with the Satori here. But this one is also obviously an integral frame lock, which is Peter's signature technique, and it is absolutely awesome. So without further ado, I'm going to get this blade out here. Look at that. We've got a 3.75-inch blade of CTS XHP done in this beautiful compound recurve grind. And this one comes with a big fuller. This is an option on the blade, and he's made it really dark with his acid wash there. It looks really, really nice. Calls that his two-tone blade. This is CTS XHP steel. He usually works in just a handful of steels. He likes XHP. He likes CPM 154. Occasionally he'll use S90V. But he really knows what he's doing. He treats his own steel, and it is always really well done. Takes a nice edge. So the Satori, it is the realization or the feeling that you have when you achieve self-understanding. And this is one of the points that you go on or that you reach while you're on the way to enlightenment or nirvana. So I love the way that he describes his knives like that. It's almost like you need to get one of these and then get the Nirvana or something like that. But they're all related, you know, they're all similar in certain ways. His integral slim profile here his precision engineering, his pivots, and some of his blade grinds and geometries are similar. But this is much more of a, I would say, tactical type folder. This is a much more aggressive look. It's got a large forward finger choil, some aggressive jimping going on here. And so the purpose of this knife is wildly different than the purpose for the Nirvana, which I'm going to bring out here and show again fully open. So the Nirvana is much more of a gentleman's carry. Don't want to stab myself here, but you can see it's just perspective here. These knives are almost exactly the same size. This is a lot sleeker and a lot more subdued. It's much more of a gentleman's carry. This is less threatening. It just looks sort of like a classy instrument. This is definitely more aggressive. It's got some texturing here on the handle. It's got that forward finger choil and jimping. It's got that recurved blade with the drop point on it, and definitely serves a different purpose, this knife. It's got a really nice weight to it. It's nice and solid. I enjoy that a lot. So let's talk about some of the specifics on this knife. Again, we've got a 3.75 inch blade of CTS XHP. Just check out that grind. So there's no line coming down here. This is almost like a Tanto modified recurve kind of a tip. I don't even know the words to describe it. It is just really, really pretty. There's a nice thin hollow grind done all the way down to this tip. It's really, really cool the way that he's ground. I'm going to get my camera to focus on it, hopefully. Let me see. There we go. Yes, so you can see right there where it comes to that sort of almost reverse tip there at the bottom of the blade. You can see the satin flats, which I'm sure are hand done. He's got the stop pin in there that matches the frame, stone washed, and that nice fuller. Moving back here, we've got a pivot done in titanium, blued, and you can see the texturing of the G10. Now, one of his absolute favorite combinations is this nice gray handle with a bright orange G10 pivot collar. He really likes the pop of that orange. It's nice to see a more subdued one like this. This is a lot more my style, and I totally appreciate that Nico picked this one up because it is that same kind of subdued look that I liked. Hopefully, I'll be able to get myself one of these Satoris one of these days. I've been talking with Peter Rassenti about it, and I really hope that maybe I can pick one up. I'm still kind of recuperating from my last purchase, so I might wait a little while, and I'm sure he's busy with the Blade Show. But here on the handle, of course, we've got his integral construction, this time with a nice cutout for the flipper tab, and it does fit perfectly just like that. And there are no real hot spots on the frame as you come back. Everything is nicely chamfered. He's got this really unique milling pattern. He didn't just make 3 lines, but he made these 4 lines that are, great, and they do serve. They do provide a little bit of grip when you're holding the knife like that. The back side is a bit more plain, but that allows you to get it in and out of the pocket really well. And it's got one of his milled titanium clips. Now, I will be the first to say that sometimes these clips are not ideal. They're sometimes hard to get into certain pants, and they do ride a bit high. But I like that because it kind of shows off that you're carrying a Peter Rassenti, and people ask you about it. And it does function really well once you get it on. So I really am thankful that I've gotten to hold this knife. I owe a lot to Nico. He sent me a few knives over the course of my channel. Go back and check him out. He sent me the Smock SK45. And he's got even some Browse blades headed my way that have been modified by Fanatic Edge. So very thankful to him. Check him out at Today's Grail, Tomorrow's Beater on Instagram. And I'm going to carry this knife around a little bit. I'm going to use it around the house, gently, lightly, and get a feel for it. And hopefully I can get a custom order in with Mr. Rassenti again and get a companion here to my Nirvana. Now, the spec that I have requested is a little bit more similar to the way that this knife is put together with a couple of small changes, so I'm really hopeful that I can get a nice sort of matching pair. But definitely impressed with the way that this one looks. So thankful to Nico for allowing me to use this guy. I'm going to take some great pictures and post them up on my Instagram at Dr. Frunkey. Click like and subscribe here to my YouTube channel, and as always, guys, this is Dr. Frunkey saying, take care.